Hey there, this is Red. It's time for another episode of Red Plays. All right, so we're getting out hero number 2 from the latest expansion, Galaxy's Most Wanted. And hero number 1 was Rocket Raccoon, and I'll put some links up there in the corner over there for the playthroughs for Rocket that I did. But now we're going to do Groot. So I wasn't super successful with Rocket. He's aggression and he's got lots of guns. And Groot is protection, and protection isn't normally my strong suit. And I say that, but having played Quicksilver, Quicksilver was a very awesome protection hero. So maybe Groot's here to change my mind and get me off of these aggression characters that I like so much and help convince me to play protection. We'll see. Anyway, so we're going to do our standard Rhino test just to see how Groot plays against a known villain, one that we've played many times against, just to see the mechanics of how Groot works. All right, so let's take a look at Groot here. Groot has 4 recovery on the alter ego side. He has the outlaw keyword. We have growth spurt. Place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10, limit once per round. And the very deep quote there, I am Groot. So we will see a lot of that in this set. So size is what I was looking at. Hand size is 6 and our hit points is 10. When we flip over, we've got Groot, and we've got 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. So we're really heavy on the defense there. And the forced interrupt of when Groot would take any amount of damage, remove that many growth counters from him. For each growth counter removed this way, prevent 1 of that damage. So can make growth counters on one side of Groot, and then they get removed when he takes damage on the other side, which kind of makes me not want to take damage as Groot, because then I'm going to lose my growth counters, which I think I use to trigger abilities and stuff. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right. So let's go ahead and start off here. We have a hand size of 6. So we're going to go ahead and draw 6 cards and see what we come up with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So it's new cards. So it's going to take us a little while to go through them. Let's see what we've got. All right. Get them in some sort of order here. All right, so first off, we have what's this one? We have Vine Spurt, Vine Spikes. So Vine Spikes, it's an upgrade. When Groot makes a basic attack, remove 1 growth counter from him, exhaust Vine Spikes. Groot gets +2 for that attack. Okay, that's pretty nice. We have I am Groot. So deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of growth counters on Groot. All right. That looks like a good card for later. Not great right now. We've got Indomitable. Hey, there's an old card. After your hero defends, discard Indomitable, ready your hero. It's a 1 cost upgrade. We have Hard to Ignore. After your hero defends against an attack, takes no damage, exhaust Hard to Ignore, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. All right, and that is a 1 cost upgrade. I think we want to get that one out there. That looks like our thwart card there. We have another big I am Groot. So I think both of those are going to get mulliganed away. And we have a Root Stomp, which says deal 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats the enemy, place 1 growth counter on Groot. All right. So let's see here. We're going to mulligan away these 2 I am Groot. We have like 3 upgrades that look good to get out. They all cost 1. So I don't know that doing a double resource is going to do me any good. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just mulligan those 2 and take 2 other cards. All right, so we have 1, which is a genius, and a I am Groot. So this I am Groot says remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of growth counters on Groot. All right, so that doesn't do us a whole lot of good right now, but we've got it. Okay. So where do we start here? So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Groot's Growth Spurt, which lets me place 2 growth counters. I have a feeling we're going to want to go alter ego a lot because we're going to want those growth counters. Okay, so next up we're going to flip over to the hero side. All right, we have a bunch of upgrades we can put out there. So I think, well, we could also do a root stomp. So that does 5 damage. So if I do a root stomp, that means I only get to put 2 of the other ones out there. I think we'll go ahead and do that though. So we're going to do our root stomp, and it says deal 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats the enemy, oh, that's if I defeat the enemy, I place a growth counter on Groot. Or, yeah. Oh, that's only if I defeat him. So that removes a threat. That will let me ready my hero, and that lets me do extra damage when I attack. Man, so the aggression player in me is like, oh, look at that. You could do a bunch of damage in the first round. I think I'm going to have to do it. So we're going to do 2 for the root stomp. So that's going to do 5 damage to Rhino. All right. Next up, we'll go ahead and get our vine spikes out. So vine spikes is going to give me, I can remove a growth counter, exhaust vine spikes, and get +2 for that attack. Then I've got a choice between hard to ignore and Indomitable, which would let me ready myself. So if I get hard to ignore out there, it's going to stay out there. But I could ready and defend this round, so I can go back again next round. I think, let's get the hard to ignore out there. We'll work with that. All right. So at that point, I think we're going to go ahead and we will use our vine spikes and attack with Groot. It's going to knock us down to 1 growth counter, but we're going to do 4 more damage to Rhino because we're getting 2 from this plus 2 for that attack. So he's down to 5. Now I've got a feeling I'm going to end up going into protection mode after this. So we'll see. All right, so end of the turn. I'm going to ready up, and my hand size is 5, so we're going to get 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what we've got. We have, we have Lashing Vines, which says after Groot uses a basic power, remove 2 growth counters, exhaust Lashing Vines, ready Groot. Ooh, that's kind of nice. All right, we definitely want to get that out, but it takes 2 growth counters. All right, then we have We Are Groot, which says remove up to 4 growth counters, choose that many friendly characters, give each of those characters a tough status card. All right, we have Dauntless, which says max 1 per player. When your hero's remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your hero's starting hit points, your hero gains Retaliate 1. That could be nice for Groot. You've got a Fruition, which says place 2 growth counters on Groot. And it's an action, so it can be done either hero or alter ego. Nice. And then another hard to ignore. Now, it doesn't look like there's no limit on those, so I can have multiples of those out there. Nice. All right, villain's turn. We've got 1/3 of the main scheme. Goes right there. And Rhino is going to look to attack Groot. I'm guessing as Groot, we're going to defend against this. So we defend for 3. Rhino's attacking for 2. He's going to get a boost of 2, so we're going to take 1. But that's going to take off one of our growth counters. All right. Let's see here. That's after I defend against an attack and take no damage. So we prevented the damage with a growth counter, so we can activate that. And I can remove 1 threat from the main scheme. All right, let's draw our encounter card. Encounter card is Sandman. He's going to come out with tough on him. All right. Got a tough Sandman. All right, I need a little bit of a drink here. I'm getting something stuck in my throat. All right, we'll see if that helps out a little bit. All right. It's chai tea, so I'm being good. It's the middle of the day right now. Maybe later, something better. All right. Got toughness on Sandman. And we're over to the hero turn. So what are we doing hero-wise? Let's see. Oop, second, gonna cough. All right, T didn't fix that. Hopefully that's the end of that. We'll see. All right. Problem is we've got no growth counters right now and we're exhausted. That's kind of a downer. Now, lashing vines, we can get that out there and use some growth counters to get ourselves back up. We've also got, so the other thing I'm looking at is we got Sandman out there with toughness, and he's got 2 scheme and 3 attack. So he's actually a pretty big problem for us for right now. Dauntless would be good for us to get out there. So what are we looking at? So if we let him scheme this turn, we're looking at 2. We're going to get 1, plus he's going to scheme as another one, plus a card, plus 2 more. That's going to be a lot. It's going to come out all at once. That seems kind of rough. I don't know that I want that to happen. But we also don't have a lot of damage we can throw out there this round to get Sandman off of our back, which is annoying. So we could get Fruition out there. What that is going to do for us is that is going to get us 2 counters, which we could use to ready up using the lashing vines. All right, so I think we're going to use our We Are Groot to get Dauntless out there. All right, so that's going to give us 1 retaliate as long as our hit points stay full, because we don't have anything to increase our hit points in this game. Or in our deck, because we're using the pre-constructed deck. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is, do we use Fruition? I think we're going to use our Hard to Ignore to get Lashing Vines out there. So yet another card. We're kind of building up our tableau over here. So Lashing Vines is going to let us get rid of 2 counters in order to ready Groot. I can play Fruition and get a couple of counters on us. Or do I hold off on that? I'm thinking I may hold off and hold on to Fruition. Go over to Groot, get some counters, do a recovery. But I'm going to take, if I stay Groot this round, I'm going to take a lot of damage. I'm going to take 2 plus a boost, plus 3 from Sandman. I could defend against Rhino, which would let me do 1 retaliate damage back to him. But that's not going to allow me to recover then if I go over. Wow. Which way do we go here? I think we're going to go ahead. It's tough decisions. We're going to go ahead and go over to Groot. And we're going to use our Fruition to get 2 growth counters. Then we're going to use Groot's growth spurt ability to put 2 growth counters on there. So we're up to 4. All right, 4. Where's the 4? 4. And then we're going to be done. So we're going to ready everything up. We're going to draw back up to a hand size of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we got. We've got a Deft Focus, which is another upgrade. So exhaust Deft Focus, reduce the resource cost of the next superpower card you play by 1. And I have a lot of superpower cards. Superpower card, superpower card. All right, we have a Hard to Ignore, which we've seen already. We have an Indomitable, which we've seen already. We have Fighting Fit. So Fighting Fit says, hero action, deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 damage if your remaining hit points are equal to or greater than your starting hit points. Okay. It's only to the villain. Desperate Defense, which is an old card, but we got it. When your hero defends against an attack, gets +2 defense for that attack. If you take no damage for that attack, ready your hero. That might come in pretty handy here in a second. Makes me wish I would have stayed hero form. And we have Starhawk. All right, so Starhawk has 1, so his 2 cost, 3 health, 1 thwart, 2 to attack. When Starhawk takes damage, exactly equal to his remaining hit points, return him to your hand. All right, interesting. All right, so that's the end of my turn. We're going over to the villain's turn. So this is going to be painful. One threat on the main scheme. Rhino's going to see Groot out there. He's going to scheme for 1. He's going to get a boost of 1, so he's going to scheme for 2. Sandman's going to scheme for 2, so we're up to 5. Yikes. Getting out of control pretty fast. We're drawing a encounter card. Encounter card is charge. I'm going to give him +3 attack. Okay. All right, this is going to be a painful round because we're going to have to go over to hero side because we can't take that amount of threat. All right, so that's the end of the villain's turn. Hero turn. First thing, we're going to use our growth spurt. We're up to 6 counters. So we got a lot of counters. Then we're going to go ahead and flip on over to Groot. All right. Oof. Oh. Deft Focus would be nice to get out there, but I think we want to get Starhawk out there. And we might want to get Indomitable out there. Which do we go with? So let's see here. We're going to use our Fighting Fit and Deft Focus to get Starhawk out there. I think we're going to use our Indomitable to get Hard to Ignore out there. All right, and then what are we going to do here? We're going to attack with Starhawk. Yeah, I think we attack with Starhawk for 2. And knock Rhino down to 3. And then I think we need to thwart with Groot for 1. That's down to 4. All right, then we're done. So he would be exhausted. He's unexhausted. We're done. We're going to draw some cards. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Cards we know about. Energy, power, protection we know. Rocket Raccoon we don't know. So what's Rocket got? Rocket brings to the table. Play only if your identity has a guardian trait. 3 cost. He thwarts for 2. That's nice. When Rocket Raccoon attacks a minion, he gets +3 for that attack and gains overkill. Ooh. So he might be kind of good for Sandman there. All right, then we've got a I am Groot, which is remove threat from the scheme equal to the number of growth counters on Groot, which right now is looking pretty good. But after this turn, I don't know about that, so we'll see. Okay. Villain's turn. Oh, the problem is we've got these great cards to help play other cards, but I really need to play that Desperate Defense this turn. All right, villain's turn. 1 threat on the main scheme. Rhino is going to come to attack Groot. Groot's going to defend against this. So we're defending for 3. He's attacking for 5 right now. I would like to use that, but I think our growth counters are going to go away. So we're going to use our I am Groot to play Desperate Defense. So when your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense for that attack. If I take no damage, ready my hero. All right. So right now I've got 5 defense, but Rhino is attacking for 5. And he's going to get a boost. His boost is 1, so he attacks for 6. So what I have to do is use one of my growth counters, but he doesn't do any damage to me. All right. And charge goes away. And because I took no damage, I get to ready my hero. So Groot readies up. Also, my Dauntless goes off because it says my remaining hit points are equal to or greater than my starting hit points, which they are. I haven't taken any damage. I get Retaliate 1, so Rhino's going to take 1. I defended against an attack and took no damage, so I will use Hard to Ignore and Hard to Ignore to remove 1 threat from the main scheme each. There we go. That worked pretty good. All right. So, happy with that. Next is going to be Sandman's going to attack. So Sandman attacks for 3. I'm going to defend against that attack, so I don't take any. At that point in time, my Dauntless is going to go off, which is going to retaliate, and the toughness goes away. All right. Then we're on to encounter cards. So 1 encounter card, and we get Advanced, the villain schemes. Ooh, ouch. All right, so he's scheming for 1. You get a boost of 1, so he schemes for 2. All right, so I'm really glad that the Hard to Ignores went off, because I would have been in a lot of trouble had those not have happened. All right, so that is the end of the villain's turn. We're over to the hero's turn. So what are we doing on the hero's turn? So we're exhausted right now. We can fix that with some growth counters, potentially. We'll think about that. I don't know that I necessarily want to do that, because I don't know that I like dialing down all of my growth counters. I think we will spend 3 to bring Rocket into play. So Rocket is going to attack. When he attacks for 1. We're going to have him attack Sandman. So when Rocket Raccoon attacks a minion, he gets +3 for the attack, and the attack gains overkill. So he's going to attack for 4, which is going to be enough to take Sandman out. All right, then we're going to put 1 on Rocket. We're going to have Starhawk thwart for 1. I'll take 1 off of the break-in. When he does that, Starhawk takes damage exactly equal to his remaining hit points. Return him to my hand. So Starhawk's going to go back to my hand. All right, Groot's exhausted at this point in time. I don't think we're going to do anything with Groot. So we'll be done, and we're going to ready up. So ready up, ready up. Ready up Rocket. We've got Starhawk. We're going to draw back up to a hand size of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, villain's turn. On the villain's turn, we're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. It's going to go back up to 5. Rhino is going to look to attack. I have another Desperate Defense, and I can't get another Dauntless out there, so I think we're going to go ahead and use my Dauntless to play Desperate Defense. So that's going to give me a +2 defense, and if I take no damage, I'm going to get to ready. So I will defend with +2 defense. He's going to attack for 2. You can get a boost of 2, so he attacks for 4, but I've got a 5 defense, so we absorb all of it. I will get to ready. My Dauntless is going to do 1 damage, so he's down to 1. We're going to use Hard to Ignore because we took no damage. Take 2 off of the main scheme. All right, I like how that's working. That seems to be kind of nice. All right, we're going to draw an encounter card. That was his attack. Now we're going to get an encounter card. Encounter card is caught off card, discard an upgrade or support you control. All right, so what are we getting rid of? Oh, I hate to get rid of my Hard to Ignores. That's my extra damage, which I haven't been using a lot of. And I'm not sure if getting rid of the vines, the spikes, or the lashing vines is the better way to go. bonus to attack or my ability to ready. I think I'm going to get rid of my ability. Ooh, do I get rid of my ability to ready? No, we're going to get rid of my bonus to attack. All right. So that's his encounter card, and we're back over to the hero turn. So what are we doing on the hero turn? All right, hero turn, we've still got a fruition we can play. Let's get Starhawk into play. I'm going to spend 2. Starhawk comes back out. We'll go ahead and have Starhawk. We have Starhawk attack. Yeah, because I think what we want to do is we'll flip Rhino and get rid of the breaking and taken. So we're going to have Starhawk attack. Starhawk attacks for 2. That's going to get Rhino 1 out of there. And Rhino 2 is going to come into play. Rhino 2 gets 15 hit points. So grabbing the counters. 2, 2, 10, and a 1. All right, and we need breaking and taken. So let's see if we can find breaking and taken. Where did it come? I don't think we saw it yet. Nope. Let's look in here. Where's our breaking and taken? Crowd control, charge, stampede, breaking and taken. There it is. All right, it's going to come out and it's going to get 3 threat on it. All right, 2, 3. All right, next up we're going to have Rocket Thwart for 2. And then we're going to have Groot Thwart. He thwarts for 1, but that's enough to get rid of the breaking and taken. All right, feel good about that. And then I think we'll go ahead and use our fruition to bump up our counters. Our counters are up to 7. All right, we're done. We're going to unexhaust many things. Unexhaust, unexhaust, unexhaust. We're going to draw back up to a hand size of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so new things. We got flora and fauna. So let's see here. That could give me 2 growth counters. And ready me. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Place 2 growth counters on Groot and ready him. Or place 2 charge counters on a Rocket Raccoon upgrade and ready that upgrade. Well, we don't have to worry about that in this game. We also got Entangling Vines out there, which says when Groot makes a basic thwart, remove 1 growth counter, gets +2 thwart. All right. The other thing that I'm sitting on is I've got Fighting Fit, which says deal 5 damage if my hit points are equal to or greater than my starting. So that's kind of nice also. All right, let's see where this round goes. We'll do some villainous stuff first and see how that works out. All right. Villainy number 1 is 1 threat on the main scheme. Villainy number 2 is Rhino is going to come attack Groot. So Groot's going to defend against this because it's what Groot does. And right now we're defending for 3. We don't have any other big bonuses. So we're going to do 3. He's going to get a boost card. So he's attacking for 3. He's going to get a boost of none. All right, so we don't take any damage. Now, Dauntless is going to go off. We're going to do 1 point of Retaliate. We didn't take any damage, so we can use both of our hard to ignores and take 2 off of the main scheme. All right, we're going to draw a counter card. Counter card is hard to keep down. Rhino heals 4. If he can't heal, he gains surge. Well, it's good that I did that retaliate because that's that 1 damage that we needed to keep him from surging. Okay. There we go. That's the end of Rhino's turn. We're back over to the hero's turn. All right. In some ways, that was kind of scary because I could pull off a fighting fit here and do 5 damage. I think we sit on Rocket. What do we do with Starhawk here? So, yep, I think we're going to use our Entangling Vines and Dauntless to pay for Fighting Fit. So Fighting Fit says deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 if my hit points are equal to or greater than my starting hit points. So they are. So we're going to do 5 damage. Or knock him down to 10. All right. We can... Do I thwart with Starhawk? Yeah, I think I'm going to thwart with Starhawk. We'll exhaust him to thwart for 1. Knock this down to 1. Starhawk is going to go back to my hand at that point in time. He takes a consequential damage. That's exactly his hit points. Okay. So now I could fire off another Fighting Fit. Which would do another 5 damage, and it's going to knock him down to 5. I think we'll do that. We're getting a little bit on the risky side here, but I think this is a good bet. So we're going to use these 2 to do another Fighting Fit, which says we're going to do another 5 damage because we're at full health, right? So 5 damage. All right, so he's down to 5. Now I could use my Lashing Vines and ready up and attack him. I think we will do that. So we're going to ready up. We're going to spend 2, which allows me to ready Groot. So we're down to 5 and we're readied. Then we're going to attack with Groot, and we attack for 2, so he's down to 3. I think we're going to hold on to Rocket here and not do anything with Rocket, just in case. We'll see how this next round works out. All right, so we're going to be done. We're going to ready all of our stuff up. And we're going to draw 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we got Desperate Defense. All right. That's making me happy. So another new card. So we got more Deft Focus. We have a Bind Shield, which is when Groot defends against attack, remove a growth counter. Oh, Groot gets +3 defense for that attack and exhaust the Bind Shield. Wow. Okay. That's pretty massive. Okay. Villain's turn. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. Rhino is going to look to attack Groot. Groot's got a defense of 3. Rhino's got an attack of 3. We will use our Deft Focus to pay for a Desperate Defense. That's going to bump us up to 5 on the defense front. All right, so Rhino's attacking for 3. He's going to get a boost of 2, so that's 5. That's what we're defending for, so we take 0. All right, we are at full health, so he's going to take 1 from the Dauntless. We're going to use Hard to Ignore twice to remove 2 off of the break-in. And we got to ready because we defended and then we took no damage. All right, we're going to draw an encounter card. Our encounter card is I'm tough. And Rhino's going to get a tough status card. All right, so he's tough. And we're back over to the hero side at this point in time. I guess what we do is we have Rocket. It's going to attack. He attacks for 1, gets rid of the tough. Rocket goes away because that's his 3rd point of damage. And then we have Groot attack for 2, and that's the end of Rhino. Wow, okay. That worked really well, and as much as I struggled with the Rocket deck, Groot just kicked Rhino's butt in Standard, so that was pretty quick. question is going to be, did I play something wrong? Because it almost seemed too easy there. I don't know if it's I just didn't draw the right stuff for Rhino or what happened there, but it worked out really well, I gotta say. So very happy with Starhawk. Very happy with these hard to ignore upgrades. Those are amazing. It only takes threat off the main scheme, but those were huge in this game. The Dauntless worked out well. Groot's little side things were okay. I used one at the beginning. I think I used the Vine Spikes once, but they really didn't play a huge factor in this game. The two Fighting Fits dropped 10 damage, so that was pretty good. We did do a root stomp at the beginning, and I was wondering if that was a wrong decision because things went a little bit sideways at the beginning there, but we ended up being okay. Groot played really well. Starhawk was really good. Also, Rocket taking out Sandman worked out very well too. That +3 to a minion was good. Was pretty massive. So, yeah, it seems like the Groot deck is really good. So, big thing. Let me know if I missed anything. And that's our first playthrough with Groot on standard Rhino. I think next game I'm going to have to bump up to expert Rhino because that, actually I should see if this is fluky. I think we'll do another standard Rhino because maybe we just fluked out and got the right cards at the right time. Maybe Groot isn't as awesome as this game made him look. Maybe once you guys review my play, you'll also point out some things that don't make him as great as he looked. But he looked really good that game. So let me know what you think about Groot and Groot versus Rocket. Which is the better of the two? I thought it would be Rocket, but now I'm thinking it's Groot. So let me know what you think. And I guess that's it for now. And thanks for watching.